Hello, welcome to the Onyx Path News. By God, it is hot. It is lovely to be back. Lovely to be back home in time to do another Onyx Path News. That's right, I'm no longer on holiday. I'm back in the driver's seat, back working. Actually, I don't know how much I do much driving around here. Sometimes it feels like I'm being taken along on a stiff breeze, completely out of control of my own destiny. But I enjoy the ride, and that's the main thing. What do we have to talk about after my usual precursory rambles? Well, big one. Last week we launched the Kickstarter for Titans Rising. Titans Rising is our newest book for the Scion game line, Scion RPG. And this is one I've been looking forward to for a long time. I've been able to keep up with the development of this book that enables you to actually play as Titans. And I think what is most appealing to me isn't just the sheer amount of content I've wanted to requisition for my other games, as I mentioned in last week's Onyx Path News, but is also how the default setup is not immediately antagonistic. I guess, one would look at first edition Scion and say Titans versus Gods is the default setting. And there is definitely appeal to that. You can definitely use Titans Rising and Titanomachy for that, but you don't have to. And this is something, when I think of game design and I think of built-in antagonists, things like Sabat versus Camarilla, for instance, I think of utility and how a lot of players want to play clans, let's say, or in this case, scions of pantheons that aren't necessarily on the good side of things, and they end up having to thread certain needles, or to get a bit Thesian for a moment, try and lead an ant through a conch with a thread tied to its leg. And when trying to do so, you can end up sort of breaking the substance of the setting. Titans Rising, Titanomachy doesn't have that issue. It provides so many playable options and so many ways of integrating Titans into your game seamlessly. It feels to me, and I see this as a huge selling point myself, as almost like Covenant play in Vampire the Requiem, the way that you can have all these characters from disparate philosophies, origins, parentage, and so on, working together despite their different beliefs. And it's a book that has been so wonderfully written. I think the team behind it, the developers especially, will well know my name because I have been emailing them, asking for updates every now and then, as I do. And and I do hope I wasn't too much of a pest. A great deal of that was enthusiasm, because every single time I've been able to get an update on this book, I've wanted to read more of it. And I think you will love it. I have linked it in the video description below. The Kickstarter enables you to not just buy Titans Rising. If you haven't bought Titanomachy yet, or you only have a PDF or print-on-demand version, this also allows you to buy a traditional print version of Titanomachy. So this gives you the two-book set. And these books are sizable. You know, this is comparable to any of the larger Scion books. And you can get them both via this Kickstarter, via traditional print, and it will fund a traditional print run of both of these books to put them in stores. Now, the Titans Rising Kickstarter is already funded. We've already hit funding. We've already hit our first stretch goal. So there's an adventure going to be written, and we are on our way to the next stretch goal. Here's hoping we meet that. If you give it your backing, we stand a much greater chance of doing so. That isn't the only Scion news, however. Last week on Wednesday, we released our August Tasty Bit. And as you may know, our Tasty Bits are very small. They're small, bite-sized supplements, hence the name Tasty Bit. And they are filled with counters, maps, story hooks, characters, all kinds of things you can just drop into a game, whether you want to set an entire adventure around the location depicted or just use it for a scene and set piece. Given they typically only cost $2 or $3 to buy, it's always great value for money. This one, which is most firmly Scion Dragon based, although you can, of course, use the library setting, characters and such for any game. It doesn't just have to be Scion Dragon, or indeed Scion, is, as the name again implies, set in a library. So you've got wonderful art depicting this library setting into which you can put combat, investigation, or whatever you so wish. Of course, you can print these. You can use them in virtual tabletops. That's the whole point of the Tasty Bit program. This year, every single Tasty Bit has come with a new map, new plot hooks, new tools for players, and story guides to use. This week, we will, of course, have another new release. We do it every single Wednesday. I know I have remarked upon it many times this year and probably last. I'm always stunned, impressed, amazed at our team's ability to get something new out every single Wednesday, and yet somehow we manage it. I think that makes us unique in the RPG industry. Sometimes a big release, sometimes a small release. We always release something new every single Wednesday. So please give us your support. Please do pick up a new product, whether it's the library, whether you back Titans Rising, or whether you look in our back catalogue on Drive-Thru RPG, Indie Press Revolution, your friendly local gaming store. There are many games to be found. I see Tiago Hayashi has said, Titans Rising already seemed an interesting project. With all the Pantheons, this seems a gigantic and interesting project. Very well put. Yeah, there's a lot of content in here, and I think one of the things that attracts people most to Scion, and indeed many games, is the sheer range of powers, and gods, myths, and so on are always very interesting to role players. This has no lack of any of those things. So yeah, definitely something worth looking into. We have a busy month ahead. Of course, with the Titans Rising Kickstarter, we are also prepping for our next crowdfunding campaign. We always have to keep the next project in mind. We can never afford to sit on our laurels in this industry or as a company. And so you may already be able to guess what that project is going to be, but you will find out soon enough. I am very excited for it. So I will leave you with a big hurrah for Scion, because it is wonderful to see the game line doing so well. Hiromi Kota, the entire team, David Castro, Kat Evans, they have done a wonderful development job on Titans Rising. Please support them, support us. Even if you can only back the project for a small amount, anything you can contribute is hugely appreciated, and you will end up with a beautiful book at the end of it. Of course, even if you do back it just for the smallest amount, you'll gain access to the full manuscript as the Kickstarter goes on, and can provide your feedback, which we will listen to, and may result in small changes to the manuscript before release. So always provide feedback if you have it. We appreciate that. Same as reviews on Drive-Thru RPG and elsewhere. We always appreciate these things. Thank you very much for watching, and next time I broadcast, hopefully it will be a little colder. Bye-bye.